Welcome to More Than Your Infertility podcast. I'm your host, Kristin Dillensnyder, IVF mindset coach and IVF mom. Just like you, I know the impact riding the emotional roller coaster of infertility has on your life and how easy it is to be consumed by it. And I plan to support you, remind you, and teach you how to be more than your infertility while you're in the wait for your baby. If going through infertility is harder than you thought, taking longer than you thought, and impacting your emotional well-being, you're in the right spot. So no more waiting. Let's get started with this week's episode. When I reflect on my own IVF journey, I often think about the things I wish I had known earlier, the questions I wish I had asked, and the support I wished I had received. And that's exactly why I created this podcast. What I hear all the time is, no one told me that about infertility. So let's change that. Let's dive into the topics that many don't figure out until they're deep into their journey, from the emotional toll to the treatment options and everything in between. Here are the things no one told me about infertility. IVF is way more complex than just hormones and shots. Sure, those are a part of it, and they come with their financial and physical impact. But what often gets overlooked is how it touches every facet of your life, from your most cherished relationships to your emotional well-being. Your emotional well-being isn't just about feeling good. It's about how you navigate life's decisions, your sense of optimism, and your resilience when facing the roller coaster of infertility. It affects your ability to handle setbacks. Trust me, there will be some, and how quickly you can bounce back from them. Your emotional well-being even plays a role in your sleep, how you fuel your body, and your stress levels. And believe it or not, it even influences your performance at work. Now, I get it. Most people dive into IVF with worries about the shots, the medication mixtures, and the side effects. But here's the thing. 2 days into your STIMS journey, you'll be feeling like a true warrior for what you're enduring. What I want to emphasize is this. Spend more of your precious energy focusing on nurturing your emotional well-being. That means building emotional resilience, finding ways to handle the emotional triggers, preventing burnout, and preparing for those challenging days ahead. These are the aspects I work on with my clients, and we'll be diving even deeper into them in future episodes of this podcast. So as you tackle your concerns about the shots and the side effects, which, by the way, will become a smaller worry as you go along, I encourage you to channel that energy into nurturing your emotional well-being, because in this journey, your emotional strength will be your greatest asset. The second thing I really wish I knew earlier is that IVF doesn't always bring that pregnancy magic on the first try, or eventually for some people. I mean, who wouldn't want it to be as simple as sign here, pay up, take some shots, and voila, you're pregnant. But my infertility friend, it's not quite that straightforward. It's a numbers game whether your insurance covers it or if you're footing the bill yourself. It's a numbers game if your insurance requires 3 rounds of IUI first. It's a numbers game based on the follicles they see, the eggs they retrieve, and how many make it to the day 5 embryology report. And just to clarify, the number of eggs retrieved will not match the number of embryos you have at day 5. There's also a numbers game with genetic testing, how many chances of transfers you get, and whether you explore options like egg banking. It boils down to whether you can afford to try again, both financially and emotionally. The silver lining is that there are countless paths to achieving your dream of having a baby through assisted reproductive technology. There are different protocols, medicines, and testing options to explore. And just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it can't happen. That might be tough to believe initially because we're wired to fear and avoid failure. But IVF is a science experiment, so it's all about the numbers, and it can work even if it hasn't already. My daughter is living proof of that. The third thing is that you might find yourself feeling isolated and lonely during this journey, almost like you're in a worst case scenario, that your body is failing you and that no one could possibly understand. It can be dramatic at times, but I want to reassure you that these feelings aren't the whole truth. In reality, infertility affects 1 in 6 couples, according to a recent report from the World Health Organization. Additionally, 1 in 4 couples experience pregnancy loss. So you are not alone, even if it feels that way. The key is to reach out and seek support. You have the power to say, I need more help. I don't want to go through this alone. Something has to change. You can make that call register for that program, mark it on your calendar, and connect with at least one person who truly understands your journey. Support groups are an option whether in person or virtual. You can find them through your clinic, organizations like Resolve, or even a local church, regardless of whether it's your own. Paid programs, usually hosted by someone who's walked in your shoes, are another valuable resource. Coaching is another avenue to explore, either one-on-one or in a group setting. The approach, the focus, and the group size may vary depending on your choice of coach. Similarly, therapy or counseling, whether individual or group-based, is an option, although you'll need to see a licensed professional in your state due to regulations. So doing it alone is optional, and I encourage you to explore to find what suits you best. Some people find virtual support groups helpful, while others opt for therapy, coaching, or a combination of these approaches. There's no wrong way to do this, as long as you're taking steps to get support. Here's something important to remember. The best doctor for your IVF journey might not be the one closest to you. Not every doctor has that perfect bedside manner or the knack for simplifying complex medical jargon. Not every doctor will eagerly listen to your questions about alternative protocols or tests you've come across. It's all about what matters most to you, and you're the one in the driver's seat of your journey. Don't be shy about advocating for yourself. If you've got questions, don't leave the office without answers. And if more pop up later on, reach out and get the clarity you're seeking. Now, when it comes to clinics and doctors, there is a wide spectrum. Some are known for that personal touch. They remember your name, your story, and even message you more than the nurses. Others might make you feel like just a number. It all depends on your priorities. In some clinics, your doctor might only be present at the egg retrieval and transfer due to their busy schedules. But here's the thing. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. It's about what works best for you and what you're comfortable with. So remember, it's your journey, and you have the power to choose the path that feels right. The last thing is that you don't need to carry shame about your infertility. It is a medical diagnosis, not a result of anything you did or didn't do. It is not a punishment, nor does it reflect your past choices. You are worthy of becoming a parent and have every right to be a parent, no matter how or when it happens. However, you also have the choice to whom and how you share this aspect of your life. Some people find comfort in sharing their journey openly with anyone who will listen, while others prefer to keep it more private, sharing only with a select group of trusted individuals. There's no universal right or wrong way to handle it, as long as your choice is not rooted in shame. It might feel hard at first to talk about yourself, so as you get involved with the support options I previously mentioned, you will probably become more comfortable over time. Check out the show notes to find details about the different support options and links so you can find what works best for you. IVF is more than just hormones and shots. It's a season of your life that will impact you and change you. So even though IVF isn't always a one-shot guarantee, it can work, and it is a part of your story to parenthood, albeit a hard, long, uncertain road to parenthood. So as we wrap up, let me leave you with this. You are not defined by your infertility. You're a strong, resilient, successful individual who's on a path that may be challenging, but it's also filled with hope and possibility. Remember, the loneliness and the shame are optional. And when it comes to choosing the right doctor and clinic, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Your voice matters, and you deserve the care and support that aligns with your needs. I'd love to keep this conversation going. So come find me over on Instagram to let me know which one of these 5 lessons learned the hard way was news to you. Thank you for being a part of More Than Your Infertility. If today's episode resonated with you, please consider sharing it on social media or with a friend. Your support helps us reach more women on their infertility journey, empowering them to break free from the grip of infertility shame and rediscover their hope. And before we part ways, I have a small favor to ask. If you've enjoyed the podcast, kindly leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps other women find this empowering community. Until next time, always remember, you are more than your infertility.